Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, I welcome you all to this video. We are with the chapter of microwave resonators to see the subject microwave engineering. So far in this chapter we have gone through first of all the understanding of the series and parallel resonant circuit and also the loaded and unloaded types of the quality factors. Next to that we have also gone through the conditions for short circuiting and open circuiting when the microwave transmission lines are related to the length corresponding to lambda by 2 and lambda by 4 there. Now, while we have the modifications from the waveguides to that of the cavity resonator, we have closed both the walls. Those were open for the rectangular and circular waveguides with the shorting plates, and now we have the rectangular and circular cavity resonators. If the cross section is not either rectangular, not complete circular, but a semicircular, so that time we shall be having the device called as semicircular cavity resonator. So let us see the details here. So here we start with our topic semicircular cavity resonator. As just now made it very clear that the cavity resonator or the waveguide, whatever you talk about, the name to that particular device is with respect to the shape of the cross section. So in the rectangular cavity resonator or rectangular waveguide, the cross section is of rectangular shape. In the circular cavity resonator or circular waveguide, the cross section is complete circle. So hence, if the name we have semicircular cavity resonator, its cross section is semicircle. So the two semicircles when combined, they will be giving us a complete circle here. So let us draw the first of all a schematic diagram to show you how exactly the semicircular cavity resonator can be. So here we take the help of three axes from the rectangular coordinate system. These three axes are mutually perpendicular to each other. So let us say this is the positive x direction, positive y direction, and this is the positive z direction. So now they are intersecting into the origin that has been represented by the letter capital O here. Now we have a semicircular cross section. So let us extend the y-axis in the negative part here, and this is a semicircular shape here. While we extend this to a certain length here, so here let us say this is the height up to which we have this semicircular cavity resonator extending, and this will be the top wall. So this is the top wall, this is the bottom wall, and one cylindrical side here and the back side here we can say. Now while we have the z axis here, the z axis will be having the length of the cavity resonator. So these semicircular shapes, those have been in this particular schematic diagram, may be first of all open if we use this to be of semicircular waveguide. So when get it close by the shorting plates here, we get it to the semicircular cavity resonator. So let us mark the length of the cavity resonator represented by small d here. Now while we represent small a to be the radius of circular waveguide and that of the circular cavity resonator, for semicircular also we represent this much of length by small a to be the radius of semicircular cross section here. In this diagram, if you take any point inside the volume space here, so when we have a perpendicular dropped onto the z axis, the angle made by that perpendicular segment with the positive x direction is nothing but angle phi here. So in cylindrical coordinate system we have rho phi z. Sometimes it is also referred to as r phi z. Rho or r is the radius value here. So here we have fixed the radius to the a here. So we can say that rho is equal to A, R is equal to A here. This is the angle phi here, whereas with respect to the origin intersection of the three rectangular axes, whatever the height has been achieved, that can be represented in terms of Z here. So if Z is positive, we can say that the point is located above to the origin here, or when it is negative, it is downwards with respect to the position of origin here. So let us see, this is the semicircular cavity resonator. So it is very distinctly seen that half of the circular cavity resonator is nothing but the semicircular cavity resonator. So there can be the excitation of modes corresponding to the transverse electric and transverse magnetic modes of microwave propagation inside the hollow cavity of this resonator here. So either the electric or the magnetic fields, those are inside the cavity. So they have to be satisfying the Maxwell's equations as well as the wave equations. If we have the standing wave generated here, and this is of course subject to the boundary condition here. So correspondingly for the TE and TM mode, the harmonic variations in the positive Z direction are to be considered, and we can express for, first of all, for TE mode here. So for TE mode we can represent N, P and Q here. So as a transverse electric, EZ component will be absent and HZ component will be existing there. So HZ component is governed by the equation expressed as H suffix 0 Z into J suffix N as a function of X suffix NP dash into R divided by small a, into we have the trigonometric function cosine of N times phi, and another trigonometric function due to the fixed length of the cavity resonator, that it is sine of, we have q phi Z divided by small d here. Here we have small n holding the values 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. P is equal to, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Q is equal to, we have again 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Whereas A is equal to, that has been represented here, a radius of the semicircular cavity, the cross section here, that has been represented in the earlier schematic diagram, and D is equal to length of the semicircular cavity resonator here. So this was the wave function corresponding to the transverse electric mode. When the transverse magnetic mode represented Tm suffix npq, so the wave function will be expressing Ez component. So for transverse magnetic, Hz component will be 0 or absent there. So Ez component is equal to, we have E suffix 0 Z into J suffix N as a function of X suffix NP into R, the radial direction spatial coordinate in cylindrical coordinate system, or you can also represent it as rho. So this is divided by small a sine into n phi into cosine of, we have q pi z divided by small d here. So here we have small n holding the value 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Whereas we have p is equal to again 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And the value of q can be 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So when we see the equations corresponding to the transverse electric and transverse magnetic mode from semicircular cavity resonator compared with those of circular cavity resonator, the expressions are the same, but the values corresponding to the N, P and Q may differ at some places. Now when we have a substitution for the cutoff wave number, in general the wave number is equal to the omega square in multiplication to the permeability and permittivity value. So that time we obtained the resonant frequency equation for the corresponding modes there. So therefore for TE suffix NPQ mode, we have the resonant frequency given by Fr is equal to 1 upon we have 2 pi a under root of mu epsilon. This is in multiplication to the square root that has capital X suffix NP dash here, which is to be squared, and added with we have q pi a divided by small d. The ratio is also squared here. Whereas when we have Tm suffix NPQ mode, so the corresponding resonant frequency Fr is given as 1 upon 2 pi a square root of mu epsilon in multiplication to the square root that has x suffix np, which is squared, and added with q pi a divided by small d here. So the ratio is squared here. The difference is of the root value. Here it is the derivative representation. Here it is the without derivative representation. Now, when we talk about the dominant mode of operation, we have also seen that it is with respect to the dimensional lengths for the cavity resonators, either for the rectangular or for the circular. So it is also applicable to the semicircular cavity resonator as well. So here for semicircular cavity resonator, TE111 mode is called as the dominant mode of operation, provided that the length of the cavity resonator small d is greater than radius of the semicircular cavity cross section. So it is d greater than a, and we have Tm suffix 110 to be the dominant mode when we have the length of the cavity resonator less than that of the radius of semicircular cavity cross section here. So this was all about the semicircular cavity resonator. So far we have addressed the three types of the cavity resonator by getting the two open ends of the waveguides, either it is rectangular, circular, or a semicircular close by the shorting plates here. Now by the next lecture we shall be addressing the quality factor, especially with the cavity resonators. So for more information like this for microwave engineering topics, you can subscribe to Ekeeda channel. Thank you.